ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I am Falakzeeb Khan, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another, future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with industry stalwarts interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulae for many. And this is what we aim to achieve with these sessions by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such industry stalwart on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Mr. Deepak Vaishnav. Hello, Mr. Vaishnav.
Hey there. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you so much for interaction. Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us on FaceTime with Leaders today.
Thank you.
So let me give you a quick brief about Mr. Vaishnav. He is an accomplished professional with over 3 decades of experience in enterprise planning and information technology, including digital technology, and specializes in digitalisation, automation, stakeholder experience, customer experience, data analytics, and insights to enhance agility and resilience in organizations. He has a tremendous experience in transforming enterprises with respect to next-gen technologies and leveraging it for real-time information for the benefit of the board of directors and various stakeholders, including the most important aspects of ESG. At present, he is working in the position of managing partner for Product-Agnostic assessment and strategic advisor of Tata Consultancy Services, that is TCS. There, he leads assessments to provide strategic insights and helps customers adopt cloud technology for their digital transformation. It's great to have you here with us today on FaceTime with Leaders.
Same here. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much. So, Mr. Vaishnav, could you please let our viewers know about your career journey so far?
Sure. It's a good question. It has been a very alarming experience all throughout 30 plus years now that we are in. Having qualified as a chartered accountant in 1989, I got into a job as a commercial officer with a renowned steel manufacturing company, and there we learned entire banking operations within. And that was so much well ingrained that even today I remember each and every bit of it. After that 1 year of stint, I thought I would want to be an entrepreneur. So I started my own chartered accountancy practice for about 6 years, wherein I had the limited company audits with me. So as an auditor, I was kind of understanding what auditors would want, and that kind of an experience has been gained all over. There we had the construction company, the manufacturing company, and education schools were also one of my customers for audit. So various kind of experiences that we had. After 6 years, I thought that it would be good to have a technology experience. So I underwent Oracle applications program, and I kind of then moved to US for about 4.5 years, wherein I worked with the multinational companies, good logos there. Also worked for an American consulting company, and then we returned back to India, and then I joined TCS for this 20 years. Wherein I played multiple roles, right from functional consultant to now a position in the steering committee of various key customers of ours. Program manager, program delivery, pre-sales, center of excellence, the shared services, and multiple roles I have played. And that's been a great journey. And apart from this, in parallel, because that was all getting tuned to the IT and being a chartered accountancy and commerce in blood. I also wanted to pursue my that part of it, the legal and law part of it as well, and accounting, of course. So I got a chance, and I worked for 10 years as an independent director on a listed company, where I was audit committee chairman, and NRC committee, and various other committees. and it was a great experience. So riding two boats at the same time has been there. So multitasking and all that was also a good pleasure, and everything has been going so far so good.
It's really great. Indeed, come a long way and long journey. So, which of your job responsibilities do you find the most exciting, and what makes you unique in handling them?
That's again a good question. While working with the companies and all these years, and I've played multiple roles, I think now I've developed a vision to look little forward and also look at the ground level as to what's happening. So today, if we want to extract a report and typically, then how do we extract the report? So right, whether the data is right, whether the information is correct, whether the systems are integrated, whether the processes are optimized, and it could be the shop floor process or it could be the boardroom process, right from all the way. And it could be a supply chain process, it could be a reporting journal accounting CFO's office process, or supply chain process, or so all of those I kind of handle procurement or revenue management. So all these aspects have been known now, and these were the again common things that we did. Managing the people, managing and making sure that the people are well integrated with the ideas and the responsibilities they're supposed to be working on. So customer engagement is what I like, because I did the customer facing roles. So managing the customers expectations, ensuring that their deliveries were done in the right format from our teams that are working on the ground, ensuring the stakeholders are happy. So, looking at the strategy and looking at the ground level, all of that was great thing there. Academics is also close to my heart, so I am also mentoring many of my team members across the TCS locations and geographies, where we're a global company. So I do a lot of academics also apart from all of these activities. And the Confederation of Indian Industry also have conducted a couple of sessions for the for the seniors in the organization who wanted to look at how technology can help them in the business. So these are certain things that I think my skills are, and I can improvise on it. And now with advent of ESG, I'm kind of more excited to look at how, and at TCS also we've been doing ESG a lot. So how do we get the data? What is the processes within ESG that we have to follow, and why certain things are important to us? So those are the areas that are also quite interesting, and I'm taking an opportunity to grab at those new areas. Right from Y2K to the ERP to the now cloud moving, and then the business areas like ESG, IFRS reporting, and as and when the new laws and regulations come in, how do we kind of take the technology to the best to make the business users life happy.
Indeed, interesting. So, as you mentioned about ESG, I want to ask you how and when did you get your first exposure to ESG?
Um, See, ESG has been, if we look at the history, it has been quite old, but it has been taking a lot of time for us to understand that these are the effects of the things that we have been wrongly doing all these time,
Right.
to quite an extent. So when the first exposure was, I believe, the earthquake that had happened in Kutch in 2000, I believe. And at that time, we thought it was just a natural calamity. But then finally, as we grow, we see that all these calamities keep happening here and there. So it is all the issues pertaining to the climate change and that kind of thing. So that was my first exposure. But then with TCS, we have been living ESG every day. So the environment, carbon emission, the power usage, the water usage, the waste usage, everything we measure. Our cafeterias measure what is the wet waste that was created daily, and we put it on the canteens all around, saying that you buy as much as you can consume, and so that is how we inculcate in each individual of the organization. And now today we have 600,000 people globally. So all these are kind of kind of lessons learned, and we've been living all of that. But yeah, again to answer your question, and then the Kutch earthquake, followed by multiple calamities that we have been seeing. Even today, the heat and the temperature, the rising temperature that we are observing all over, is nothing but we experience it. And every year, there's a history getting created, right?
Yes.
Unseasonal monsoon that we see everywhere, and the floods. Not only the rain, but a short rain, a short time rain, and it creates floods everywhere, right? So all that is a part of climate change from the environment perspective. Societal, yes, from the we see that women and the underprivileged associates who are now getting onboarded, and how the skills that were unearthed right until till are now unearthed basically. So all that skills we need to nurture, and we are seeing a lot of women, companions or the colleagues who are coming in and giving all of great ideas and great working atmosphere. So that is that part of it. And governance is extremely critical, and we have been seeing it right from the that Bhopal gas, where that was the first exposure of mine on the and how the governance or kind of misappropriation of funds and even Bofors, right? So all of that is a part of non-wrong governance, and it has been happening all throughout in our industries today as well. So
Yes.
how do we capture it in advance? All of these things happen after 7 years, 8 years, 10 years that you get to know. But how do we now capture it at runtime and ensure that the rules are in place and technology is in place to detect such events not in future but in current. So the governance is very important, extremely important. Environment is also very equally important so that we give the right thing to the next generation, a livable, habitable atmosphere, and then of course the societal, where the society should be happy.
So, Mr. Vaishnav, what environmental, social, and corporate governance challenges have you faced during your professional journey?
So in my professional journey, kind of we have been inculcated with Tata Group. We have a dedicated sustainability group. Um, and we have been living all of that. So as I mentioned even previously, challenges that we see not professionally but on a personal level, right? So when we go for tourism, we see that a lot of waste is all prevalent all everywhere, and so those kind of things is what we are seeing professionally. I have not seen those challenges because we have. I'll tell you, we have a business excellence model where I'm a gold certified, and this was 10, 12 years ago. And even then, we had the areas of climate change, safety, diversity, and all of and of course the code of conduct, which is now can be kind of brought forward to a larger aspect of governance. So all of that has been there, and we have been living it, and it's all ingrained around with us. So professionally, I don't see a challenge because our company has been a very forward-looking company and organization. It's a global company now, and they have been kind of very much cognizant about these aspects much in advance. So professionally, I haven't seen because see, from the governance side, we have a very strong governance in our organization
Yes.
everywhere. On the diversity and the societal front, we always take care of wealth creation and making sure that all the governance, all the societal aspects are covered, addressed, and we believe the wealth creation and good atmosphere for the people, may it be in office, may it be in a geography, may it be for a car, Tata Motors setting up a car, kind of installation, assembly plant. Tata Steel, we have seen that how they have been doing their governance, sorry, the societal part of it, all of that. So we have the good adversity. We have a global, kind of employees all around where we work with them so closely. So we find the certain challenges. Like if I visit US, then there is a different culture there. So the way we greet and meet them, and and as compared to you go to UK, and as you go to Europe, and even if you go to the Saudi and Gulf region, so everywhere there are different cultures, and we are exposed to all these geographies, and we know that how we can kind of adopt and make sure that the diversity and inclusiveness is there. So that is what is learned. And on the environmental side, as I said, that we have a strong power. Our powers is managed from one location. So in our organization, from one of the locations in South, they monitor our power usage everywhere. So all this is a learning for us as to how professionally these things can be managed. We feel that it is really not possible, but when we have seen it things happening, it is all achievable. So
Yes.
professionally, I don't see a challenge, but personally, yes, there are many challenges that we see, and you and me and everyone is seeing it to address it.
Yes, of course. So, as an ESG expert, what values do you bring to the table for the corporate world?
Great. So ESG by itself is a very important area that we have to address. We have been again kind of observing day in day out as to how things are happening. Sorry. So ESG is it's no more area to be discussed in the boardroom, but it has now kind of percolated down to a dining table. So it's kind of that. But coming to the corporate, what I think is that for all these pillars of E and environmental, societal, and governance, they should be ingrained in every individual of the organization, so that then they can take it down to their friends and families, making sure that the important aspects of the ESG are embedded in the processes within. There are various guidelines that are available, like from the Global Reporting Initiatives or SASB or MSCI, and many such organizations worldwide are working on it. And we have to ensure that we kind of how quickly able to abide by the framework, the reporting that is needed. The data comes in right. The data comes in consistently because the process is now set. So periodically, when you absorb this data, like extract this data, that is consistent. Where the data comes from, the data that is fed in the system. How do you ensure that the data is right in the system is a challenge that we have to address. What are the technologies available? First is understanding what we need to do. Second is how important it is for our organization that we're working, what is the impact that it is carrying. And the third thing is how you configure your technology so as to get that information. Fourth is how do you run that data consistently and make it comparable and inferable by the users and the various stakeholders. And then make it reporting whole time reporting, kind of it's part of annual report that you have to kind of ensure. So organizations should be kind of spearhead, and they should be pioneer in their own industry, and they should start kind of looking at that. So that is one. So the the help or the value bringing value to the table is how do you make sure that an organization is able to comply to all the guidelines and frameworks and reporting. Doing the assessment of the organization, I believe that we should do two things: internal assessment and external assessment. There should be a dedicated team doing it, very dedicated team, like you spend on an R&D. Company has a budget for R&D. Here, company also have to have a budget for the ESG activities by itself. They should have a unit and a ESG team comprising of various skills, various age groups, and various departments and various geographies. And that should be a team that should be working on it, and then identify the people who are continuously doing the internal assessment and then the external assessment. These external assessments are same like business excellence model. We do the excellence model for the internal company, and as well as we do and go for the group companies. Likewise, if it's a
Right.
big conglomerate who's working in geography, different geographies, then there are some experts within the organization who will be developed like that, and they will be able to then mentor those other geographies for their operations and do the assessments and help them build a consistent platform from where the reporting can happen. So it is a single reporting, single data, and single processes or education to all these ESG team, that what they want for an organization and how they can get it. So that is that part of it. And the second is, while doing this assessment, the thought of the board of directors and the CMD should be that it is a self appraisal of an organization. like we do our individual employee self-organization. Then we started doing 360-degree appraisal. Like I appraise my boss, and he appraises his boss, and he appraises me as well.
Yes.
Likewise, now you have to appraise your own organization. Organization is a separate entity by itself.
Hmm.
So who assesses that? This is a great opportunity to assess a company to be able to adhere to the ESG, thereby making it reputational and sustainable, right? And then be a leader in their own sector. Compete that who's going to do it first. That should be the competition, apart from the business competition that you're doing. So I think
That's
I
there.
can cater to that a lot more.
Yes, that's there definitely. So, as you know, we are building a community of global thought leaders for cross pollination of knowledge in the corporate governance and ESG spaces. What are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole WDC team?
It is an excellent initiative, just too good. I love it. The reason, because there's plethora of information available everywhere. You go onto internet, there are many things that you want to read, but there is no structured way of looking at things. So highest congratulations to Jishan and Havel for kind of collating all this information into a structured program, and a nice synopsis of every particular small topic. It's explained very well. I'm seeing a lot of repetitions, but that repetitions are needed to hammer it into yourself. So it is very good that the thoughts remain within you. So the hammering is needed, and it is like binge, seeing actually. What do you call it? A binge viewership that you do. Once you look at one particular serial, you don't end up. You want to complete the whole serial, right? Likewise, this program. If I do one chapter, I want to do the next chapter, and the next module, and the next module, and the quiz, etc., are also very interesting. So it gives us a great insight into having everything into a structured way, and ensuring that how do you gradually bring up things, and kind of have the entire gamut in the ESG world. They have given the live examples, they have given the historic examples, they have given the futuristic outlook, they have talked about the different frameworks and guidelines that are available. They have also talked about the fact as to why ESG is not taking up a big impetus, because it is difficult to directly relate to the top line and the bottom line in terms of money, right? But then how do you ensure that sustainability? There is a tangible and intangible both benefits. So we have to marry that together, keep a proper vigil on the intangible ones here in this case, because we are now talking about the whatever age we have used all these resources around. Now it is time to even give it proper to our next quite a few generations ahead. So those intangible areas also are very important, and we have to make it very sustainable life for us. That means everything is sustainable. If I'm sustainable, I'll do everything which is around me sustainable. So thanks once again for Jishan and Hevel for this great opportunity, and that is one of the reasons why I am now confident of talking about ESG anywhere and everywhere.
That's really great. It was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire future leaders. Thank you, Mr. Vaishnav, for joining us today. We wish you the best for your future endeavors, and moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute has unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds. Thank you so much once again for being with us today here on FaceTime with Leaders, and for sharing your wonderful insights and all your experiences of your journey. I'm sure it's going to help everyone who's watching this grow in their business too.
I really appreciate. Thank you so much. And if there's any questions, any further discussions, any area of interest, we can certainly connect.
Definitely. Hope to see you again.